available Evans was gobbled up 5 times in the game, and Baker and company refused to allow Chicago a single first-quarter first down. The Lions, however, moved the ball effectively in the opening 15 minutes, largely due to accurate passing by Gary Danielson and clutch catches by number 30, rookie Ray Williams. Williams caught a pair for 30 yards as Detroit swept downfield on their first possession, setting up an Eddie Murray field goal. Murray was the NFC's leading scorer coming into the contest, establishing himself as the best young kicker in the league. The rookie's accuracy this time meant a 3-0 Lion lead after a quarter of play. With nearly 10 minutes remaining in the half, Danielson sought to extend that tenuous 3-point lead. Freddie Scott made the catch out of bounds, according to the officials. The men in black and white thwarted Detroit, and when Billy Sims took the ensuing handoff, so did the Bear defense. Chicago smothered Sims like gravy over mashed potatoes, but shortly thereafter, young Billy made turkeys of all of them. Sims turned an innocent screen pass into a 47-yard masterpiece that provided Detroit with a 10-0 lead. His magic deserves another look and reveals exactly why he was the first player selected in the entire pro draft. He is smooth. He cuts on a dime. He uses his blockers. And he finishes with style. There were some who were skeptical of Sims' ability to catch the ball, for he was used simply as a wishbone runner at Oklahoma. So much for the critics. His catch and carry seemed to awaken the previously hibernating Bear offense, as Evans found James Scott for a big gain in the closing minutes of the half. Alertly cruised out of bounds with 3 ticks left on the clock, and Bob Thomas got the Bears on the board as the first half came to a close. Thomas's field goal narrowed the Lion lead to 10-3. Detroit had totally dominated the first 30 minutes, yet they only led by a touchdown. These are the type of games that have typified Thanksgiving conflicts over the years. A tight ball game, low scoring, with the division title perhaps hanging in the balance. Gary Danielson had 2 thoughts concerning the final 30 minutes. First, this was a must game for his Lions. Second, one does not run against the Bear defense. To achieve that all-important win, Danielson came out firing. Freddie Scott proved to be Danielson's prime target all afternoon. Scott would be punished by the hardest-hitting secondary in football on the end of each and every reception. The Bears thought they had Detroit halted at midfield when punter Tom Skladany came on. He had no intention of punting, however. Sweeney traded in a booming punt for a neatly tossed spiral as Dexter Bussey sustained the drive. Danielson snuck over for six plays later. Somehow, Danielson managed to pierce the end line as Detroit moved out to a seemingly comfortable 17-3 lead late in the third quarter. The Bears needed a spark, and they had it all along. One man to spur them to victory. His name, Walter Payton. Payton's incredible 19-yard run was a clinic in the Jim Brown school of power running. Watch once more as wondrous Walter punishes those who wish to punish him. Payton's inspirational run highlighted a day in which he surpassed the 8,000-yard mark for his career. It also led to a Vince Evans to Robert Fisher touchdown. Robert Fisher has emerged to fill the void at the tight end position Chicago has had for nearly a decade. The rookie's catch cut the Lion lead to 17-10, and Vince Evans found himself in business once more with minutes remaining. Payton would finish with 123 yards on 18 carries, but a 4-yard gain by Evans proved to be the most vital Bear run all day, for it tied the game with no time left. One can only surmise exactly what Evans uttered to Noah Jackson as regulation time ran out. One thing for sure, though, when Chicago won the toss and Dave Williams received the kickoff on his own 5-yard line, number 22 left everyone speechless. Had kicked a field goal with no time left on the clock to end the half. They tied the game with double zeros showing on the clock in regulation, and Dave Williams won it on the first play of overtime. Perhaps one could say that the Bears were destined to win this Thanksgiving Day Classic. Armstrong, the season has been an exasperating one, where many picked his Bears by virtue of their defense to win the division handily. Regardless, this mighty Thanksgiving victory in Detroit may help to ease his frustration. Unfortunately for the Lions, a critically needed win was not to be. Detroit's loss meant that if Minnesota could beat the Saints, they'd have a share of the elusive Central Division lead. Viking quarterback Tommy Kramer wasted little time. Sammy White's touchdown reception was followed by a missed point after, but with 7 minutes remaining in the half, the Vikings had assumed a 9-0 lead and were knocking on the door once more. Kramer throws to his backs often as Ted Brown shredded the porous Saint defense for big gains all day. Brown then scored from 1 yard out with 28 seconds remaining in the half. Brown's versatility sparked Minnesota to a 16-0 halftime lead. And early in the third quarter, the Vikings extended the margin to 23. Rookie Doug Pascal's first pro touchdown seemingly placed the game out of New Orleans' reach. But just when the Vikes thought they had a cakewalk to the division lead, cool Archie Manning took command of the game. Tight end Henry Childs, an outstanding tight end who has been silent most of this season, put the Saints on the board. And moments later, Manning found fleet Wes Chandler for a 33-yard gain. Chandler, too, has been a rather quiet performer this year, while youngsters like Wayne Wilson, number 30, have shown promise for the Saints of the future. Wilson's catch cut the once insurmountable 23-0 Viking lead to a more reasonable 23-13 deficit. And that advantage shriveled once more when Archie and powerful Henry Childs combined for the second time in the half. The feisty Saints now trailed by a mere field goal with a few minutes remaining. Apparently, the firing of head coach Dick Nolan and the appointment of interim head coach Dick Stanfill had made for a resurgence of the 0-12 Saints. Illegal motion on Tony Galbraith, number 34, however, nullified Manning's would-be game winner with time running out. Did run out on New Orleans, who had their attempt at a game-tying field goal blocked, allowing the Vikes to celebrate with a little midfield scrum. For at last, Minnesota had caught up with Detroit atop the NFC Central heap with 3 games remaining. Four 7-1 record, Tampa Bay remains in the NFC Central race, at least mathematically. Against the Packers, the Bucs prepared to solve the equation that would add another point to their win column. Quarterback Doug Williams located 6 separate first-half receivers. Among them, rookie wide receiver Kevin House, number 89. Another new face in the Buck backfield contributed on the ground. Surprise starter Rick Burns, number 36. A second-year man from Nebraska, Burns became the game's leading rusher, and his 17-yard carry set up the day's first score, a 39-yard field goal by Garo Yepremian. Simply said, the first period belonged to the Bucs. The Tampa Bay defense, number 1 in the NFL a year ago, regained a touch of past brilliance and limited Eddie Lee Ivory and the Packer running game to but 18 yards in the first half. Buck defenders were particularly hard on a rookie free agent, number 31, running back Jerry Ellis. Ellis's fumble was Green Bay's only turnover of the day. It could not have been more critical. As Tampa's Dewey Selman pointed out, Buccaneer ball at the Green Bay 17. 3 plays later, Williams and Isaac Higgins, number 81, combined to extend the Tampa Bay margin. A second look at the touchdown clearly shows that Higgins established position in front of Green Bay's Estes Hood and simply outmuscled him for the ball and a 10-0 Tampa lead. What little momentum Green Bay could generate was provided by Andre Thompson, number 89. Thompson's 57-yard return went unrewarded. But on the Packers' final possession of the first half, Thompson's efforts were instrumental in creating a scoring opportunity for a reclaimed place kicker from Kansas City, Jan Stenerud. With 5 seconds remaining in the half, Stenerud's 40-yarder pulled the Pack within 7. Following intermission, Tampa Bay's wide receiver Gordon Jones, number 84, went to work on the Green Bay secondary. From the high hurdles to the tightrope, Jones caught 4 passes for 64 yards. And this catch should have set up his own touchdown. At the Green Bay 3-yard line, the Bucs ran a picture-perfect misdirection play, leaving Jones all alone on his route to the end zone. After Jones misdirected the potential scoring pass, Tampa got 3 points from their reclaimed kicker, Garo Yepremian. This time, a simple 9-iron from 20 yards forged a 10-point Buccaneer lead. Green Bay coach Bart Starr has done a masterful job reviving the Packers, and his primary mover has been quarterback Lynn Dickey, a top candidate for Comeback Player of the Year. But Dickey would likely settle for Comeback Player of the Game, going to tight end Paul Kaufman, number 82. With Tampa Bay resistance strongest in the middle, wide receiver James Lofton went deep. Number 80 ended up on the receiving end of a crucial pass interference call on Tampa Bay's Cedric Brown that earned the Pack first and goal at the Tampa 1-yard line. Eddie Lee Ivory's takeoff was less than spectacular, but the ball did cross the plane of the goal line, closing the scoring gap to 3. Ivory's touchdown revitalized the Packer defense, and number 77 defensive end Mike Butler. Butler and company regained possession at the Tampa 37 when Green Bay's 2 tight ends alternated receptions. First Bill Larson to the 16, then Paul Kaufman to the end zone. Two plays, 61 seconds, 1 touchdown, and the go-ahead score, the first Packer lead of the afternoon. Over the last 14 minutes of the game, the ball changed hands 4 times and prompted Tampa Bay coach John McKay to go upstairs for the magic number. The number became 89. Kevin House's magical 44-yard catch was the game's biggest play, leaving just a yard for Johnny Davis to overcome and finalize the drive. Tampa Bay 20, Green Bay 17. With less than 2 minutes remaining, the Tampa Bay defense was hard-pressed to protect a fragile 3-point edge, as Lynn Dickey directed the Pack 62 yards to the Buccaneer 28. A Stenerud field goal would send the game into overtime, and a win would leave Green Bay 1/2 game behind Minnesota and Detroit. There was no overtime period as the kick was wide. The 20-17 Tampa Bay win created more confusion in the NFC Central. Both the Bucs and the Pack must win their remaining games to salvage any hope of a division title. It's all or nothing in a wild division where there will be no wild card.